In this video, we'll be covering the basics of using Unity. I introduce you to what the Unity engine is, what you can expect from it, and why it's such a popular choice among the game developers. In Unity, we can design levels, create game logic, and make everything work together seamlessly, and deploy it to many different platforms and reach a wide audience. Hello everyone, I'm Mohamed Ali and I'm excited to talk about the Unity game engine. Don't worry whether you're a complete beginner or just new in game development. This video is perfect for you. So, if you're ready to dive into the world of game development with Unity, make sure to click the subscribe button below and join me on this journey. Now it's time to get into it. Okay, as you see, this is Unity Hub that you can download it from unity3d.com, and the version I'm using right now is Unity Hub 2, but make sure to download the most recent version available when you're watching this video. And once you've Unity Hub installed, you'll see all of your existing projects displayed on the screen. On the right hand side of each project name, you'll see the version of Unity that the project was created with. And this makes it easy to keep track of all of your projects and make sure you're using the correct version for each one. And also for adding some other existing projects, simply click on the add button and then you can browse your computer for any Unity projects that you've already created. Now let's create a new project. Click on the new button and then choose the version of Unity you've installed on your computer. And don't worry if you have a different version than me. The principles we're gonna cover are the same. When you get to the next page, you'll see some options to choose your project and game type. Unity has some great templates to choose from that will install all the necessary functionality for your chosen game type. In this part, you can also choose where to store your project folder on your computer and give your project a meaningful name. For my example, I'm gonna call this project my first project, and note that I'm using camel case here. I'm not including spaces in the project title, and it's a good practice to get into as some operating systems don't like spaces in file names. In this part, we're gonna dive into the basics of using the Unity Engine interface. We'll be looking at the different panels and layouts of the interface and figuring out where everything goes and how to access all the amazing features of the engine. And we'll also explore interface presets and customizations so you can make the interface work best for you. When you create a brand new project in Unity, you'll see the default Unity layout. This shows you the arrangement of panels inside the interface. Let me give you a quick rundown of what you're looking at. The largest part of the interface is the 3D scene display. This is where you construct your game world and environment. It gives you a director's eye view of the game begin pieced together. Next to the scene tab, you'll see the hierarchy panel, which is the list of all the objects that exist within your game world. Okay, now let's talk about some of the handy tools you can use to navigate your game world in Unity. First up, we have the view cube on the top right hand side, which that indicates the global axis of our game world with different directions for X, Y, and Z. To access the pan tool, simply click on the hand icon on the top left hand side, and when the pan tool is activated, the mouse icon will change and a hand icon will appear in the scene. You can then left click and drag your mouse in the scene to pan around and adjust your viewpoint. And as you see, it's super duper easy. If you want to rotate around your object, simply hold down the Alt key on your keyboard, and as soon as you do, you'll see the mouse cursor change to an eye icon. You'll also notice that the eye icon has been activated up on the toolbar. With the Alt key held down, left click and drag your mouse to rotate through the viewpoint or rotate around the selected object. And it's a great way to get a better look at your game world and make adjustments as needed. And if you want to access a different functionality, you can select different tools over here or use their shortcut key as shown under each tool. We'll cover more about these tools later on, so don't worry if it all seems a bit overwhelming at first. Next up, we have the Game tab, which is displayed side by side with the Scene tab. The Game tab gives you another view of your game world, but this time it's effectively the view from the player's perspective. It's the view through the camera that you've set up in the scene. And this tab is where we'll be spending quite a bit of time playtesting our game and making sure everything works as it should. To switch back to the Scene tab, just click on it again. Now down at the bottom of the interface, we have the Project panel, and this is where you can find your library of assets that you can simply drag and drop from the Project panel into your level to add them to your game. It's a great way to keep everything organized and make sure you can find what you need when you need it. You can also add new assets to your project by clicking on the plus button here, and it's super easy to add new files like C# code to your project and get started on your next great idea. And if you decide you don't need the file anymore, you can easily remove it from your project. Just select the file and click on the appropriate button to delete it from your project. Over here on the right side, we have the inspector panel. This panel shows you the properties of the selected object. So, for example, if you click on the camera object here inside the scene, the inspector panel will populate with content showing you data that is related to the camera. You'll notice that there are different components of the camera and each one doing a specific task. If you want to add more components, just click on the Add Component button here and choose your desired component. And as you see, it's super simple. For example, let's say you want to add a new component to your object. Just select the object you want to modify, click on Add Component, and choose your desired component from the list. It's a great way to add a new functionality to your objects and make them do exactly what you want them to do. If you want more accessibility to a component, just click on these three dots here and a context menu will appear. This gives you access to more options for a component so you can reset its values, remove it, or even move it above or below other components. For example, you could click on Move Up to move a component one step above. You can also copy your selected component and paste it into another object with all its values. And it's a great way to save time and make sure your objects are consistent throughout your game. I'm gonna remove this component from the list of my selected object components. If you select an object, you have the ability to manipulate it, that is, to move it, rotate it, or scale it if you need to. For example, you could select the camera object and see that it has a transform component in its inspector. Every single object within a scene has a transform component, and this component includes three properties: position, rotation, and scale. These three properties define where and how an object appears in the scene. For example, you can see that the selected object has positions X, Y, and Z within 3D space. One way you can change the position is simply by clicking inside one of the transform type fields and typing a new value. Alternatively, you can set these values a bit more interactively by hovering your mouse over the X field and clicking and dragging your mouse. You'll notice that when you drag your mouse to the right, the values increase, and when you drag to the left, the values decrease. You can see the object moving in response inside the Scene tab. You can also change the value for the Y and Z fields to move the object in those directions, as I'm doing here. This process applies to rotation and scale too. You can easily rotate an object by clicking and dragging your mouse over the appropriate field. For example, you could rotate the camera in the X, Y, and Z axis. If you ever need to reset the values you've changed, you can simply click on the reset button. This is a great way to reset all of your components' values and start fresh. I'm going to deselect the camera just to clear the inspector panel. So that's the basics purpose of these panels here. But the default interface arrangement, which you see, refers to arrangement of those panels within the interface. What we're seeing here is the default layout. But if you've used Unity before and customized the interface, your arrangement may be different from mine. In fact, I'm going to change the panel's layout right now to show you how you can customize it to suit your needs. But before we do that, let's make sure we all begin from the same starting point. To do that, I want to show you how you can reset your interface layout. Just move your mouse cursor to the top right hand side and click on the option that says Layout. A context menu will appear with a range of options. The most important option for our purposes right now is the last one, which says Revert Factory Settings. When you choose this option, Unity is reset back to its factory defaults and you'll get the warning that tells you it's going to reset the layout. But if you choose to continue, the interface arrangement will be set back to its defaults. For now, let's choose the default option and you'll see the layout is back to its default arrangements. Of course, if I don't like this arrangement, I can change to a range of other arrangements, which are defined by some pre-made presets here. So if I click on the layout drop down, you can see that we have 4 split presets. If I select that option, it will give us different views from the top, the right, and the perspective, and the front view of the viewpoint, and our panels are aligned to the right hand side. Again, I'm going to change from the 4 split to the tall arrangement, where we have this virtual arrangement of panels. And finally, we have a wide layout here, which tries to maximize the screen space occupied by the scene view here. I'm going to switch back to the default layout, and that is the layout that I'm going to be using. But what if you don't like any of the presets you've seen so far? Don't worry, you can create your own presets. For example, if you want to change the arrangement of the game tab, just select that tab to bring it into focus, and then click and drag from the tab title to a different part of the interface. You can even drag and release your mouse to this section of the interface, allowing the scene and game tab side by side. You can then grab the console tab and drag and drop it to the bottom of the game tab to have this kind of four-way arrangement of tabs. If you like this arrangement, you can save it as a preset. Just move your mouse cursor to the top right hand side where it says default. Click on the drop down and select the option Save the Layout. You can easily delete a layout from the list of the layouts by clicking on the Delete Layout option. But before we do that, let me show you how you can save a custom layout. Just click on the Save the Layout option and you'll get the option to name the new layout. Let's call it my first layout and click on the button that says Save. You'll notice that the name of the drop-down list changed to my first layout, because that's the layout that is currently active. To switch back to a different layout, you can simply click on the drop down and choose a preset like Force Split. If you want to restore your custom layout, just click on the drop down and choose My First Layout again. But what if you don't like your custom layout anymore? No problem, you can completely delete it by clicking on the Delete Layout option. A dialog will appear asking you to click on the layout you want to delete. If you select My First Layout, the button will be removed from the list. If you close the dialog, you'll notice that the panels are still in the arrangement for the layout. But to reset everything back to default layout, just select the default layout from the list. And now my custom layout has been completely removed. Overall, the Unity interface is pretty sleek and allows us to achieve a lot of customized behaviors. By the way, the console panel will show you all the messages from your game, which we will discuss later. That's it. In the next video, we're going to explore the Unity Asset Store and see how we can access it from within the Unity editor and integrate them into our Unity project. We're also going to learn about Game Object and how to create primitive objects and start building our own 3D worlds and games. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.